When you buy a modern connected electric vehicle today, you aren't just paying for the high-capacity battery pack, the drive units, the chassis, or the minimalist high-tech interior. You are paying for dozens of invisible micro-agreements, mandatory software subscriptions, and wireless patent licensing fees built silently into the vehicle's final sticker price. And right now, behind closed doors in the highest courts of the United Kingdom, a massive, unprecedented legal showdown has just exploded between Elon Musk's Tesla and global patent cartels. In a landmark historic decision handed down on the 27th of July 2026, the UK Supreme Court officially revived Tesla's explosive lawsuit against the massive cellular patent pool platform Avanci and wireless technology holder InterDigital. At the very heart of this high-stakes legal warfare is a non-negotiable $32 fee charged on every single connected 5G vehicle, and a fierce, precedent-setting battle over whether global patent giants can use cartel-style licensing platforms to bypass basic fair competition law. If Tesla ultimately prevails in this ongoing trial in London's High Court, it won't just change how Elon Musk manufactures and prices software-defined cars. It could completely dismantle the way multinational tech conglomerates charge traditional and electric automakers for cellular connectivity, potentially saving car buyers millions of pounds nationwide and around the world. How did a seemingly minor dispute over $32 per car escalate all the way to the highest judicial body in Great Britain? Today, we are opening up the legal bonnet to expose the hidden patent wars quietly inflating the cost of 5G electric vehicles in the United Kingdom. Before we break down the court ruling, the complex mechanics of 5G patent pools, and the massive financial ramifications for British drivers, if you appreciate these honest, deep dive investigations into the hidden economics of the UK car market, take a quick second right now to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we dig beneath corporate PR and glossy marketing to bring you the real-world stories that shape what you pay on British roads. To understand why this landmark court ruling is sending massive shockwaves through both Silicon Valley and the global automotive sector, we first have to examine how modern, software-defined electric vehicles connect to cellular networks in the real world. Every single time your electric car receives a seamless over-the-air software update, streams high-definition media, navigates through real-time traffic jams, or communicates with public charging networks, it relies entirely on global 4G and 5G telecommunications standards. But the underlying highly complex technology that allows a moving vehicle to communicate with a 5G cell tower isn't invented or owned by a single car brand. Instead, it is built upon thousands of individual standard essential patents, commonly known across the tech and legal industries as SEPs. These standard essential patents are owned by a vast web of global telecom giants, university research groups, semiconductor developers, and tech firms around the world, including giants like InterDigital, Qualcomm, Nokia, and Ericsson. Because these technologies are strictly required for any device to connect to standard 5G networks, international trade bodies and standard-setting organisations like the European Telecommunications Standards Institute, or ETSI, impose a mandatory legal requirement on patent holders. Under international competition laws, anyone holding a standard essential patent is legally bound by an undertaking to license that technology under what is known as FRAND terms: fair, reasonable, and non-discriminatory. The underlying principle of FRAND is simple, vital, and protective. It ensures that because a technology has been chosen as the universal standard, patent owners cannot abuse their absolute monopoly power to gouge manufacturers, extort astronomical royalties, or block competitors from selling products on the open market. Avanci is a massive global licensing platform based in the United States that operates as an intermediary patent aggregator for the automotive sector. Instead of an automaker having to negotiate dozens of separate complex patent licenses with individual tech companies across the globe, Avanci pools these thousands of patents together under one roof. They then offer car manufacturers a single, take it or leave it package deal covering virtually the entire 5G wireless patent stack. For 5G connected vehicles, Avanci established a fixed, non-negotiable global price tag, exactly $32 per vehicle produced. Now, to a casual observer, $32 on a 40, 50 or 60,000 pound electric car might sound like pocket change. It sounds minor. But when you multiply $32 across millions of electric cars rolled off global assembly lines every single year, you are looking at hundreds of millions of pounds in pure recurring profit funneling directly out of the automotive supply chain and into the pockets of patent licensing pools. While many legacy car makers quietly paid Avanci's non-negotiable fee simply to avoid messy, expensive legal battles and potential sales bans, Tesla resolutely refused to play along. As Tesla prepared to roll out full 5G telematics and advanced connected features across its fleet in the UK and Europe, Elon Musk's legal team took an aggressive stand. Tesla argued that a blanket, non-negotiable $32 fee per car was completely disconnected from the actual economic value of the patents in question, rendering it far from a fair and reasonable FRAND rate. More crucially, Tesla's attorneys launched a direct existential challenge at the core business model of collective patent pools. Tesla asserted that individual patent holders, such as InterDigital, were using Avanci as a corporate shield. By teaming up in a centralized pool to set rigid, non-negotiable licensing fees, patent holders were effectively bypassing their individual legal obligations to negotiate fair, transparent FRAND terms directly with vehicle manufacturers. In essence, Tesla accused the platform of operating like a legal cartel, telling automakers, "Pay our pool's fixed rate or you won't get access to 5G technology at all." This monumental legal saga began in London back in late 2023, when Tesla filed a landmark claim in the High Court of Justice. Tesla asked the English court to issue a formal declaration stating that Avanci's platform rates failed to meet FRAND obligations and requested that the court determine what a true, fair, and reasonable rate should actually be. However, the lower courts initially slammed the door firmly in Tesla's face. Both the High Court and a majority in the Court of Appeal ruled that English courts lacked the legal jurisdiction to determine whether a global third-party patent pool's non-negotiable rates complied with FRAND undertakings. The lower courts essentially told Tesla that because Avanci itself had not signed the original ETS-IFRAND pledge, only the underlying patent owners had, Tesla could not force a platform rate review in London. The court suggested Tesla either pay the $32 fee or defend against individual patent infringement lawsuits across multiple countries. Tesla refused to accept defeat. Driven by Elon Musk's long-standing disdain for aggressive patent litigation, Tesla escalated the battle to the highest court in the land, the UK Supreme Court. And on July 27, 2026, the Supreme Court issued a unanimous game-changing verdict that has completely rewritten the rulebook for global tech licensing. The UK Supreme Court completely overturned the lower court rulings, unanimously siding with Tesla. The Supreme Court justices ruled that patent owners cannot cleverly evade their binding FRAND obligations simply by bundling their intellectual property into a collective pool or licensing agent like Avanci. The Supreme Court declared that UK courts do indeed possess full jurisdiction to review global patent pool license terms and step in to set a fair, objective FRAND rate whenever a real commercial dispute arises. The justices noted that allowing patent owners to hide behind third-party pools to enforce non-negotiable prices would severely undermine international competition law and render FRAND protections completely meaningless. Legal scholars and automotive executives across London have described this judgment as an absolute earthquake in intellectual property law. Until this historic ruling, an automaker faced with an exorbitant patent pool fee had only two options: capitulate and pay whatever the platform demanded, or refuse to pay and face devastating court injunctions that could block their cars from being imported, sold, or registered. This Supreme Court decision creates a powerful, revolutionary third option. Vehicle manufacturers can now proactively sue licensing pools in British courts, forcing an independent judge to examine the technical merits of the patents and determine a fair, transparent rate. It officially positions the UK Patents Court as a global benchmark venue for regulating tech prices in modern connected transport. So, where does this explosive legal victory leave the industry, and how will it impact everyday British car buyers and EV owners moving forward? First, the case now heads directly back to the High Court in London for a full, comprehensive trial on the merits. British judges will now dissect the thousands of 5G patents held within the Avanci pool, calculate their actual technical contribution to an electric car, and decide once and for all whether $32 per vehicle is an unfair monopoly markup or a justifiable price tag. If the High Court sides with Tesla and significantly slashes the global licensing rate, say down to $10 or $15 per car, it will trigger an unstoppable domino effect across the entire global car industry. Major European, Japanese and American legacy car makers who have quietly paid billions into patent pools over the past decade will immediately demand renegotiated terms, stripping out artificial costs from vehicle manufacturing. Lowering these back-end tech royalties is crucial for the future of affordable electric vehicles. As car manufacturers face intense margin pressure, rising battery material costs, and aggressive competition from low-cost Chinese EV brands, every single pound saved on software licensing allows manufacturers to deliver cheaper, more accessible electric cars to everyday British families. On the flip side of the debate, patent pool administrators like Avanci and tech developers like InterDigital argue that collective licensing platform models are essential for modern innovation. They contend that pooling patents dramatically cuts down on legal friction, saving automakers from having to negotiate thousands of separate contracts. They warn that allowing national courts to intervene and dictate global pool rates risks opening a floodgate of endless litigation, potentially slowing down the rollout of next-generation autonomous driving, vehicle-to-everything communication, and advanced in-car entertainment systems. However, what this Supreme Court battle makes undeniably clear is that the historic boundary between traditional car manufacturing and Silicon Valley tech has completely dissolved. As modern electric cars transform into sophisticated software-defined computers on wheels, the battle over who controls and who profits from in-car connectivity is no longer just being fought under the bonnet. It is being fought line by line in the courtroom. What is your take on Tesla's landmark Supreme Court victory against Avanci and InterDigital? Do you believe $32 per vehicle is a fair price for complete 5G connectivity? Or are global patent pools charging anti-competitive markups that inflate car prices for everyday drivers? Drop your thoughts, opinions and experiences in the comments section below. I read as many as possible and love seeing the debate from drivers across the country. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button to stay ahead of the latest UK motoring alerts. Drive safe out there, and I will see you in the next breakdown straight from the workshop floor.